Joining me more to elaborate on China's leadership this session is Mr. Cheng Li. He's Director and Senior Fellow at the John L. Thornton China Center at the Brookings Institution. As I was saying to you before the broadcast, I had a chance to watch the video online. You just gave an address in Chicago. You've got a new book out talking about this transition, and we'll get to this session. But I want to talk about what's going to happen next year, of course, the 19th Party Congress, because this is a big step for this country. I mean, we're talking about a huge transition, aren't we?
Yes, but actually, this is not unique. You look at the past 30 years. Every 5 years, the party has the Party Congress and the Central Committee, which is 370 people, and on average, 62% of them are new members. So Chinese Communist Party has a very high turnover rate. The next one, the next year, actually could be as high as 70%. It's probably the largest turnover of the Central Committee, and since 1969, at the 9th Party Congress. And also importantly, the Parliamentary Standing Committee, currently 7, and highly likely 5 of them will retire because of age limit. Now, this kind of age limit and term limit is very, very important. I think this communique not only elevated Xi Jinping to be a core leader, but also said very clearly, China is not going to abandon the collective leadership. Rather, China wanted to improve the collective leadership and have more emphasis on supervision. As your program said, there's no individual leader should be above supervision. So that the intra-party supervision has no taboo area and no exception. This is a very, very important message to consolidate the party. Now, it's not surprised that Xi Jinping has a tremendous power, but because let's look at 2012, before he came to power, China is in big trouble. You heard the Bo Xilai incident. You see that some of the leaders, military or public security, almost out of control. You need to clean up the party, and basically anti-corruption, military reform, actually Xi Jinping carry out, save the Chinese Communist Party. You need to have such a power to carry out this important task. You need to have the same power to continue to implement economic reform, without which that China could not really do well. So that the communique reflects that need, that endorsement from party. At the same time, it's very balanced, not just go single-handed to emphasize the strongman politics. That word is not in the language, but rather it's a delicate balance between individual leaders' responsibility and institutional mechanism to check and balance.
And you were talking about anti-corruption and how this has become a major theme for President Xi. This code of conduct, that is just another step along the way, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is not only in the top level, but also go down to various levels, and also talk about accountability system. So first things, I think it's right. He's absolutely right. You should first clean up the party, and without which the party will lose its authority. So this is a major effort to change the image of the party, and to, of course, at the moment that China probably, you will see, they will continue the one-party system because there's no alternative. So that makes sense. And also what Xi Jinping did in the past 4 years, regain the public confidence. That's very, very important, and for outside world to understand. This is not only just consolidate his own power, but rather to keep abreast of time, to continue to change, to reflect the new environment. And again, this community shows that the party is not stagnant, but rather try to find a mechanism, and it's in its own way, gradually to keep abreast of the time, domestic and international environment.
So someone who writes about this and studies it as much as you do, going into this 4-day session, what were your hunches on what would come out of it, and how much do they square with what you thought? And are you excited at what's come out of that?
Well, I'm optimistic about China's future. I think that you look at the past 4 years, and Xi Jinping and his colleagues, especially Wang Qishan and other members of the Parliamentary Standing Committee, they fix one problem after another. Of course, they still have a lot of challenges that make them humble, that make them alert about the new challenges. So this is right attitude. So basically, you need to have strict rules, new regulations, new norms, and also continue to improve the institutional mechanism. Eventually, should go to the legal system to clean up the whole things. But for the time being, you also should, through the party discipline, to deal with widespread corruption. In a way, it's already changed behavior. You go to Macau, the gambling city, the GDP jumped by 30%, the casino jump by 40%. That's largely reflect the changing behavior of local leaders.
Cheng Li, always a pleasure having you on the broadcast. Thanks so much for coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.